What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my second channel. We are going to do another episode of story time today, which is going to be really cool. If you guys couldn't already tell, I kind of got my bike back. If you guys have been following along with my primary channel that I do pretty much all of the content creation on, called It's Just a Six, you may remember this bike from a few years ago. We've got a real nice day today, so I figured let's go ahead and take this thing on a ride. Why not? It's been a while, girl. I hadn't seen you in a bit. By the way, guys, for those of you that are new here, Storytime is pretty much like a little small series where I tell all of the stories of things that have happened to me, pretty crazy stuff, to you guys. If you haven't already seen episode 1 of Storytime, you can click up above right up there and go check it out. But today is going to be a continuation of that series, and today I want to tell you about pretty much the story behind this entire bike. This bike pretty much single-handedly got my merch line out there. Well, not really the bike, but the bike took part in it, I guess. This bike was my transportation lifeline when I blew up the motor of my car a long time ago. I really have always enjoyed this thing. This has almost been my favorite bike that I've ever owned, if not my favorite that I've ever owned. So I'm really happy to get it back. Honestly, a lot more than I'm probably showing right now, and the reason why is because I've had it for a few days, so the big excitement about it and everything's kind of worn off, and I've rode it a great bit since I've had it. So let's rewind about 2 years or so, 2.5 years, maybe even closer to 3. I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to check the date. Me and a few friends of mine loaded up my drag car in the back of a trailer that I didn't even own at the time, but funny enough, I actually own now. And we took off and headed to North Carolina because I got called out by a large group of YouTubers at the time to go out there and go race them and run my car. So we loaded it up and we immediately hit the road to go to North Carolina. So we get to North Carolina, unload the car, we run the car all day. It was a pretty good day, but unfortunately, because I didn't really sleep much the night before whenever we were driving there, I was really freaking tired. So I fell asleep on a lawn chair, funny enough, right behind my car. And I got a really bad sunburn. Well, anyways, before racing was over, somebody woke me up and they said they hadn't gotten to see the car run, and I really wanted to be able to show them. They came all the way out there to come see the car run and come see me and whatever, and I really wanted to be able to have the car running and let them see a pass in it. I didn't want to, you know, just trying to be a nice guy. So I woke up from a really deep sleep out of my lawn chair and found out that I had been really badly sunburned. I was really just cranky and crabby. It was a freaking, I'm not kidding, probably one of the longest days of my life. Super hot. It was like 103 degrees. So anyways, I get in the car, turn on the cameras, go to start making a pass, and I make my pass and I screwed up, and I was really frustrated about it, and I didn't want to, I don't know, I didn't want that to be the last pass of the day in the car. So I decided to go ahead, whip around and make one more pass, and I listened to this guy's advice, which I really shouldn't have done, but this was whenever I was first getting into cars, so I didn't really know, but I decided to use the traction control that is built into the car and attempt to use it and see how it went, and it went really horrible. I missed 4th gear in the car, and whenever I missed 4th, I blew the entire engine because I over-revved the car. I was still on a stock motor, I was making a lot of power. It kind of sucked. It was really bad, actually. I didn't have any money at the time, so looking at the fact that I just blew up a $10,000 engine, I was pretty sick to my stomach. I had no clue what to do. I didn't have a shop to work on the car, and I didn't have a place to even keep the car out of the weather. I was living in a really small, kind of ghetto apartment complex at the time, funny enough, trying to get the channel off the ground. That was like the worst thing that could have happened because I had just quit my job less than a month before that day. So I was kind of in a panic. Luckily, my YouTube check rolled around just a few days later, and I had to make a pretty difficult decision. So as you guys know, that car at the time was the only way that I could make content. I had no other vehicles. I really didn't have any friends at the time with nice cars that I could just go borrow to make videos with or anything like that. So I was stuck. And I knew that unless I came up with some videos, I was no longer going to have YouTube revenue coming in. And the problem is that I had just, like I said, quit my job. I had no job. So I needed to have constant money coming in to pay bills. So I kind of went into a little bit of a panic, but luckily I made the proper decisions and I got through it, which is really important, guys. That's one thing that I want to point out. If you guys ever find yourself to be in just like a crazy bad situation, don't panic. You can figure it out. Trust me, it's not that bad. So on the way back home after blowing blowing it up and being a complete emotional disaster. I was going through Facebook Marketplace when I found this lovely R1 for sale. Again, about 2.5 years ago, and it was about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from where we live, and I was like, oh, that's not too bad. So I'll make content with the bike, and that will hold me over for the few weeks that it's going to take for the car to get fixed, right? And it was a great idea, honestly. I loved the bike. We did a big reveal of it. It was right after the engine in the car blew, so everybody was all real upset, and we did this huge push for merch, just to try to get some extra revenue, honestly, to be able to cover the cost of that engine that we just blown up. And luckily, you guys really pulled through, and we sold a ton of merch. Thankfully, this bike came along and we did a proper promo and had a lot of good merch sales, and you guys' support is, again, the real reason why this stuff is able to continue, why we're able to make content, and why I'm even able to do half the things that I do. So anyway, a few weeks go by, and slowly but surely I am trying my best to figure out what kind of motorcycle content to put out, because believe it or not, motorcycle content is not that easy. Hey, 6,000 miles, nice. Anyways, believe it or not, motorcycle content is really not that easy. There's not that much that you can do on it. I mean, there is. You can do like racing on the streets against other bikes and whatever, but it's hard to find cars that can keep up with bikes, so can't really do anything like that. I mean, you could do like how-to videos, I guess, about how to ride, but there's how many of those? Millions and billions. You can do videos just riding around, which is cool, I guess. Walterific used to make really good stuff. I used to love watching his videos. Do it with Dan, same thing for them. They would really just wear a GoPro and just ride around all the time, but the problem is that I don't really have time to just stay riding around all the time to catch good stuff on footage and cut it up into a video, because I kind of have like a full-time job times 14 at this point. I've run quite a bit of different businesses, things like that. So I just don't have a lot of time to stay on the bike, so I just kind of do it as a leisurely activity at this point. But anyways, back to what I was saying. The car gets fixed. I had the car and the bike for a while, and it was really cool. Really still loved the bike a lot. Again, like I said, it was one of my favorite bikes that I'd ever had. I was making videos of the bike and making videos of the car, and I was really happy. But unfortunately, I got to the point where I kind of ran out of content that I could make with the bike, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to keep the bike, obviously, but it was like a $9,000 liability at that point. Not liability, I guess, but asset that I didn't know what to do with. So I made the hard decision that I probably should sell the bike so that I can get something to make content with above and beyond the car, because I feel like if you just have one project that you're working on your YouTube channel, there's so many things that could go wrong, and if you're waiting on parts or something like that, can't get a video pumped out, you don't want to go just 2 or 3 weeks without an upload, right? So I figured it was time to go ahead and get another vehicle that we could work on as a project vehicle on the channel that would get a lot of views. So I put a lot of thought into it about what to get, and I made the decision that I should get a truck, because I really wanted to see some race truck stuff, and I wanted to go fast in a truck, and I figured people would love to see stuff with a truck. So unfortunately, as sad as it was, I had to put this bike, which again was pretty much my dream bike, and I had to put it up for sale. I really wanted to keep it. I didn't have any intentions of getting rid of it. I just didn't have anywhere to keep it inside. It was really just sitting underneath a bike cover outside next to my car, and it's such a freaking enormously fantastic, amazing, beautiful, just stunning bike that I didn't want to leave it outside. It honestly just doesn't deserve that. So I ended up selling it to this guy, and because of that sale, I ended up actually getting kind of close with him, and we regularly do things and talk to each other and this and that. So it was really nice. I sell the bike to him, I take that money, and I went and bought a single cab truck. Yeah, kind of had a lot of problems with that truck. In fact, even now, the truck is still not even together running yet. That thing has just been an absolute nightmare, and honestly, I have wanted over and over and over again just to go outside and set the thing on fire, but I haven't. Me and the sheriff that I sold it to got along pretty well, started hanging out and whatever occasionally and doing things, and he actually ended up featuring in a video of mine where I surprised my girlfriend with a car, but the idea was to smash her car, have cops show up to make it look legitimate, like a criminal had vandalized her car, and then surprise her with the new one. So he played that role completely perfect. If you haven't seen that video, click above right up there and go check it out. Absolutely fantastic video. And over the months following that, he would constantly send me pictures of the bike and send me the different things that he was doing to it, this and that, and I was always so super upset about it because I loved the bike. And yeah, it's kind of like seeing your ex-girlfriend with her new guy, and you and the guy end up becoming friends, and the guy sends you you pictures of all the fun stuff that they're doing, and you know, it's just like it really sucked. It was just like, damn. A few more months go by, and this was about last week time, I would say. And last week he messages me and he says, hey, are you interested in buying the R1 back? And I was like, immediately, no kidding, like some of you guys may be able to relate to this, but as soon as that happened and he said that, I like immediately got chills, and I was like, oh god damn it. I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, I'm so serious, I need to sell it. I'm wanting to surprise my daughter with a car. And we worked out a pretty good deal, and this is what happened next. You gonna drive?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, look at that. We still got my charger on here that I put on. Good?
We good.
In my opinion, this is literally the nicest, the best, the sexiest, the coolest, just every word that you want to put in there. It's just the most of it in a bike. It's just, I don't know. I just love this exact model R1. I love this year, but it's just one of those things where I really just did not want to get rid of this thing. Kind of like the Camaro. We went and got the Camaro back for very similar reasons.
You're gonna give it away?
No, stop.
This is something that I'm real excited about too. So, fun fact for you, my stepdad was in the Ranger Battalion, and whenever I was growing up, this particular rifle was one that he has always wanted. And whenever he would show me pictures of it and show me videos as a kid, I was probably like 8 years old at the time, of people shooting this, and he was like, this is how I want it to be set up, this is how blah blah blah, this is what I want. From him pretty much talking to me about it and always talking to me about these particular rifles, I always wanted one, but I never kind of had the chance to get one either. They're not cheap by any means, and that's really the reason why most people don't have them. This rifle in this box, as it sits, I believe sells for about $1,850. So most people aren't gonna go pick up an $1,850 rifle. But this is my new Springfield Armory SOCOM 16, and he threw this rifle in with the bike, just kind of sweeten the deal a little bit. I am very, very excited about it. So this is a Springfield SOCOM 16. This is the shorter version. It's essentially very similar setup to like an M1 style gun. This one though is chambered in .308, which is very nice. And because of the gas porting and things like that on this rifle in particular, this thing has very minimal recoil for being a .308, which is really cool. Oh man, I don't know. Springfield Armory is one of my favorite gun makers, honestly. If you want me to be a little bit biased, that's why I really like Springfield a lot. This gun in particular though is something that I've always wanted to own. And if you look up quick little picture of any of these things with any modifications done to them at all, even as simple as just replacing this stock, and you can probably pretty quickly see why this is one of my favorite guns. So man, I'm excited to shoot this thing. Feel that.
That's pretty satisfying. Oh, I get why you like that so much now.
Yeah, those are like...
That's real niche.
Yep.
And it's cool.
Yep.
You ready for this? You ready to take control? Are you giving up control? Or are you taking control? Huh?
So we get the bike back, and just like I remembered it, it rides amazing. It is absolutely fantastic, and yeah, so I decided to take it to go get ceramic coated yesterday, actually, or 2 days ago maybe, I don't know. And so on the way there, I decided to make this particular video, funny enough, and this is what happened. Yeah, literally no sound, just video of riding. It sucked. I don't know what happened. Hey doggy. And that's why I'm videoing it now. So I just went and picked it up and getting ceramic coated today. Paint correction got all of the surface scratches out. A lot of times, if you guys don't know, whenever drying paint, you'll actually be scratching it worse than what you think, pretty much. In fact, I think it's like, I don't remember exactly, but it's like 80% of surface scratches that you see on a vehicle's paint are actually from drying, from people improperly drying it. So if they're, like, let's say right now, if there was some dust on there and I was like, oh, I don't want that on there, that looks gross, and I went and got a microfiber and started wiping the dust off, believe it or not, you were actually scratching the paint. Yeah, that's where 90% of surface scratching comes from on paint, is from people trying to dry it, but drying it improperly. If you're not using some kind of lubricant to dry the paint with, then you're gonna scratch it. And that might sound stupid, but I'm not even kidding in the slightest. Ever since I got my vehicle ceramic coated and started drying them differently, I have noticed a crazy decline in surface scratches and things like that. So, but anyways though, yeah, the rest is pretty much history. Hello cop. I have no plate or registration, or, well, yeah, I do have a title. It's just not my name yet. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Congratulations, you did just now get trapped into watching a whole video for me to tell you that I bought the bike back. And all these people, what are they doing? Amid the whole coronavirus, nobody's got anything else to do, so I guess they're just out here fishing. If you guys were only here for the story section of this video, then go for it. You can click off if you want. That's honestly all that I've really got to tell. It's not really that much of a story. I could have honestly just turned the camera on and been like, I bought this bike because I blew up my car. I sold the bike because I needed to buy a truck. I made a friend in the process. That friend told me that I could buy it back, and so I did. The end. You're going to back up your boat. Let me get around you right quick, sir. Thank you. I don't think this dog likes me very much on this bike. Honestly, that is like the scariest thing on a motorcycle. Anyone that's ever ridden a bike can attest to that. That is the scariest thing ever. It's being chased by a dog on a bike. I know that sounds stupid, but good lord, is it terrifying. The problem is if you're in a car, yeah, it might suck, but worst case, you just hit the dog, right? On a bike, you really just don't want to hit the dog. If you hit the dog on a bike, you are going to most likely go end over end. And if you go end over end on a bike, you pretty much can bet what's going to follow. You're going to break probably every bone in your body, because knowing you were probably going way too fast on the bike to begin with whenever the dog came out. And then the dog, once you've done broken every bone in your body and you're laying on the ground, is going to come up and eat you or something like that. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know. Hasn't happened to me yet. I'm even more upset because I went and did a full throttle pull on this bike all the way. I ran it up all the way through 6 in that footage that I was talking about that had no audio, but you can look at it here. It's pretty quick still, just like I remember. Now that it's got the race ECU and the full exhaust and header and tune and everything, it's pretty nasty. It's crazy though, because after quite a while of being on a 1000 and being in some very, very high horsepower cars, you start to kind of think, I got back on this bike and it really didn't feel nearly as fast as what I remembered it being. I guess I just never seen faster. And then I met my twin turbo GT350. I can say I do not condone for anyone that has done experience to just go hop on a bike and ride, obviously, but man, being on a bike is incredible. Easily the most freeing feeling that you will ever experience. If you guys enjoy these story time episodes, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe if you have not already. I have a bunch of future videos that I have in mind to tell you guys, especially now that we got another bike back. I think I might just go ahead and start making videos doing these story times on the bike, just riding around, kind of having some fun, telling you guys stories. If you want to see more, please comment down below, let me know, so that way I know. If you don't want to see any more and this is like the worst YouTube video that you've ever fucking seen, just also comment that. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. That is a wrap for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.